Hello everybody, Weeb here, and welcome to this celebration video. Now I know you might be wondering, Weeb, what do you mean celebration video? Just what is there to celebrate? Well, in case somehow you missed the title of the video, or didn't really notice the thumbnail, I am celebrating two things in this video. Number one, the first thing I'm celebrating is the fact that this channel is 2 years old. That's right, it feels like time flies, but if you go to the About section of my channel and you look at the join date, it says that I joined on June 30th, 2020. So, like I said, even though it feels like time flies, even though it feels like I just started this channel yesterday, it's already been 2 years, so round of applause there. As for the second thing that I'm grateful for, that I want to celebrate, is that if you look at my sub count, I currently have, as of recording this video, 209 subscribers. Now, I know that that's nothing. It's basically a drop in the bucket compared to some of the channels out there, but still, to me, that is a big deal. I'm still awesome. I'm just so grateful to anyone who has subscribed to me. I am honored. So once again, give a round of applause to the channel and give a round of applause to yourselves. I'm, like I said, deeply honored. And so yeah, guys, that's what I'm doing in this video because I don't know, it's just so crazy to think that I made this channel 2 years ago just for the heck of it. I just wanted to play some games with some friends, do some LPs, do some retrospectives, that sort of thing. And the fact that the channel has grown, especially these last 6 months, it's really kind of started to pick momentum. I think that is awesome. And so, I don't know, I just wanted to celebrate as I could. And when I asked a few people what they thought would be a good idea for a 200 subscriber special, a lot of people said, hey, why not do a Q&A? Q&A is kind of simple, but it's kind of personal because it gets the audience more used to, they learn more about the content creator. So I said, hey, that's a good idea. So, coming at you right now is 10 questions from a variety of my subscribers that whenever they would, comment on my videos, I would ask, hey, is there a question you want to ask for the Q&A coming up? These are the questions they asked. And like I said, some of them might even ask a bit about the history of me and the channel. And so I might, discuss that a little bit, give you a bit of history. So yes, let's dive in. Now, to kick off this Q&A, the first question comes from Zero Smoke. And Zero Smoke asks, what's the game you've enjoyed playing the most so far in 2022? Zero Smoke, once again, thanks for, subscribing to the channel. Thanks for taking the time to comment a lot. I've seen you comment a lot on my channel here and there. Very awesome. Appreciate all of your, feedback, and I appreciate all of your, how you're there for me, watching my video, etc. When it comes to the answering your question, oddly enough, I think the game that I have played the most this year, 2022, is actually Stardew Valley. Even though it's like a really old game, and even though I have played stuff that's newer, here and there, I don't know, when Stardew Valley hit the Xbox Game Pass, it made me want to download the game again, and so I downloaded it, started all over, and I just got really into it, probably more than ever, and right now I have a farm that's like 3 years in, it's like the in-game time or whatever, and I just had all sorts of fun with it, upgrade a bunch of stuff, got a little farther than I've ever gone before, especially because of all the updates. So yeah, I've just been having a lot of fun playing Stardew Valley. So if anyone hasn't played Stardew Valley, I would say get it. It is like a farming / life sim sort of thing with some combat thrown in, that sort of thing. It's out on basically every system, so I would say get it. Stardew Valley is awesome. So, Zero Smoke, thanks for the question. The next question comes from AgentToto. AgentToto asks, what's your favorite console of all time? This one's a hard one, because I have a lot of consoles I really like. For instance, I love the Super Nintendo, I love the GameCube, I love the PlayStation 2, I kind of have a thing for the Dreamcast, I think the Dreamcast is pretty cool, etc. However, I guess if I had to pick one that was my absolute favorite, probably the PlayStation 2. I mean, the PlayStation 2 just had so many bangers on it. It had Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, had the Sly Cooper series, had, the Tony Hawk Pro Skating games, had, the Metal Gear series on there, had, oh my god, I just feel like the library just keeps going and going. There's just so many good games on there, and ranging from like E for everybody to M for mature. I just think there's like so many good classics on the PlayStation 2. And not only that, but I think it is really cool that you could also use as a DVD player. I think that's just a fun little fact, you know what I mean? So I would probably say that the PlayStation 2 is my favorite console of all time. So AgentToto, thanks for the question. Alright, moving on to question number 3. This comes from OxShocks. Awesome channel, you should check them out. Same for anybody I mentioned, anybody I name drop, check out their channel. Most of them are content creators and they have awesome stuff. So OxShocks asks, what made you get into YouTube? And this is what I was saying, that some people kind of ask about the history of the channel a little bit, what made me get into YouTube, that sort of thing. So, interestingly enough, taking a step back, this is not the first YouTube channel I've made on the site. Honestly, I've made quite a few channels over the years. I know that back when YouTube first started, I made a channel with my best friend, and we used to like make like homemade movies, where I was like dressed like a robot, and I would like, I don't know, just kind of like go in public and like weird people out. That was fun. Then, you know, when that didn't work out too much, just didn't really have the time, I made some other YouTube channel where I covered like real life scary stories. Then the channel I had before this one recently was one where I would do reviews of all sorts of content. That was really fun. But I guess what made me make this YouTube channel is that I've always wanted to create. You know, I've always seen other YouTubers, and I've always thought it's really fun seeing them just have fun creating videos and spending time with friends and just putting themselves out there. And I guess I always thought it would be really cool to do that. I've always had that bit of a creative itch to just make stuff and put it out there and see what people think of it. Like, I've never been like super shy about like putting myself out there. And so after this last channel I'm talking about, the one that had to do with reviews, it's not that it failed, it was doing pretty good. It had reached like 800 subscribers, but it was just a very hard channel to maintain because I would do reviews on stuff. In order to do reviews on stuff, I would try to show like footage and images doing with the media. And because of that, I would get a lot of like copyright strikes and channels. My videos would get banned in different countries and, you know, that sort of thing. And so it was just very, very hard to like gain any momentum because of the content I was making. So I feel like at one point I just got tired of that, kind of just dropped that channel, and I decided I would focus on video games. Because even though video games and, you know, LPs aren't as popular as they once were, I do feel like it's content that it's fun to make with friends, and you don't really see it get like in trouble as much, at least not as much as, like I said, like, you know, trying to do a review of a movie and showing trailer footage, or anime and showing like, anime footage and stuff. So I thought, hey, why don't I do something that's a bit more simple? Why don't I do video games? Video games, you know, seems like the rules are a little bit more lax. Why don't I do video game related stuff and, you know, work with some friends I have and just put content out there? And so that's what made me want to do this newest channel. And so far it's been pretty good, actually. Comparing it to the other channel that had 800 subs, even though over like a few years, you know, I was up to 800 subs, my watch time was really low. In order to be a partner, you need to have at least 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours of watch time in a year. Even though I had 800 subs, my watch time was like barely at maybe like 1,000 hours of watch time because all my videos were really short. Compare that with this channel, where even though I only have 200 subs, my watch time is already at like 900 hours. So that's really good. My watch time is almost what the other channel was, even though the other channel had like 4 times as many, you know, subs and like videos on there. So, you know, it's one thing for another. I'm hoping that if this channel continues to grow, by the time I have the, you know, 1,000 subscribers, hopefully I will easily have the 4,000 hours of watch time, you know. So it's been working pretty good so far. So OxShocks, thank you for the question. The next couple of questions come from Terrific. As you can see, Terrific actually asked something similar to OxShocks' question about getting into YouTube, so we'll just kind of cross that one out. However, I think these next two will count as question number 4 and 5. The first one Terrific asks is, what made you choose a rabbit as your icon? Don't really know. I've always had things for rabbits. There's some people, you know, they always have nicknames they use, or colors they love, animals they love, you know, etc. For me, ever since I was a kid, rabbits have just been a big thing for me. Always have loved rabbits. Always have thought rabbits like, Bugs Bunny and, characters like that are just really cool. Always have looked up to rabbits. So I just always thought it'd be cool to have like a rabbit as an avatar. And when I thought of what I would want the rabbit to be dressed up as or whatever, I really like the Scott Pilgrim series. I think Scott Pilgrim, his outfit's really cool, even though it's really simple. It's just a t-shirt, jeans, and like the jacket with like little fur on it. So I thought, hey, why don't I just have my rabbit dressed as Scott Pilgrim? So there you go. As for the other question from Terrific, this one's a bit of a spicy one. He says, do you ever plan to do a face/foot reveal? Ooh. Terrific would ask that. Honestly, I've thought about it. I mean, not the foot thing. I mean, if you want to, the foot thing, let me know. Maybe I'll start an OnlyFans, but that's like a whole other subject. As for YouTube, though, would I ever do a face reveal? I feel like I would do a face reveal, but it has to be for like a big number of subs. It has to be like a big milestone. You know what I mean? Like, while I don't mind putting myself out there, I do really value my privacy. I think having your privacy online is like really important, and I think it's really cool if you can like connect to people using just like an avatar. I think that's really cool. So I don't really want to like show my face. However, if people want to see my face, I would do it, but I would do it for something like a big milestone, like I said. Like, I don't want to set anything in stone right now, but yeah, maybe if I reach like, I don't know, like 10,000 subs, I think that'd be like a good number to maybe like, 10,000 subs, face reveal, or maybe even 1,000. If I'm close to that partnership thing where I have almost the right amount of watch hours and the right amount of subs, maybe I might be willing to do a face reveal. If I'm about to like get partnered or something, that might be a fun way to celebrate. But yeah, I would do a face reveal if I reach a big milestone. So Terrific, thank you for the questions, and I hope you bring your channel back soon. I know you've been a bit of a hiatus, but hopefully that changes. The next question comes from Candyfruit, and Candyfruit asks, what is your favorite GameCube game of all time? This one is difficult, because the GameCube I love. I have all sorts of favorites. Wow, I actually don't know if I have like a favorite of all time. I think that's a bit too hard to ask. But if I had to point out GameCube games that I love, that I play over and over and over, I love Super Mario Sunshine, I love Star Fox Adventures and Star Fox Assault. I think both those games just go together very well for different reasons. I love both those games, play them a lot. So I love Super Mario Sunshine, I love Star Fox Assault and Star Fox Adventures. I really love Luigi's Mansion, the first one. I think it's like, oh man, still the other games don't beat it. Just the creepy atmosphere is awesome. I love Mario Kart Double Dash. I think that, it is a travesty they have never tried to do the dual passenger thing again. I think it's awesome. And I really love the Mario Party games. All of them from, 4, 6, 7... No, 4, 5, 6, 7. I love all of the Mario Party games for this generation. So, yeah, I just love, Mario. I love, Star Fox from this gen. I love the Mario Party, Mario Kart, Resident Evil 4. That's, obvious one. Metroid. I mean, there's just so many good ones. That's why the GameCube is one of my favorite systems ever. I feel like there's just so many good games for it. If I had to pick one, I guess putting ports aside and putting stuff like Mario Party and Mario Kart, that they are in other systems and are doing really well, I would probably say Luigi's Mansion is probably my favorite game, because that's just something that, even though there have been other Luigi's Mansions, I still think the first one takes the cake. So, many favorites on the GameCube. Might consider Luigi's Mansion my favorite, so there you go. Thanks for the question, Candyfruit. Alrighty, question number 7 comes from Slim from the Galactic Happy Hour, and Slim asks, is there any return to podcasting in the future? So once again, this is kind of, peeking behind the curtain a little bit. Basically, what Slim is referring to is that over on an old channel of mine, I used to do a podcast, and it was a one-man podcast, which was probably really impressive. And basically, over that podcast, I would do all sorts of, I would talk about kind of what I did for the week, any media I had consumed, that sort of thing. And then I would focus on news having to do with gaming, or the newest movies that came out, or any anime that were, got announced, that sort of thing. And it went pretty well. I think I got to like, I don't know, maybe it was like podcast number, I want to say I was at least into like the 50s for sure. I don't remember for sure, but I was really far into the podcast. I had been doing it pretty consistently. And I liked doing the podcast, even though it was difficult because it was like a one-man podcast. I did enjoy it. It's one of those things that when I jumped over to this channel, I always thought about, should I go back to that channel? Should I go back to podcasting, etc.? Trust me, Slim, I have been thinking about it. And so I guess the answer I have for you is I have been thinking about it a lot. I've even been thinking about some people I would like to have as co-hosts or even guests. The thing is, though, I'm still trying to think of what I would call it, because I probably would start, from scratch. I probably would start with like a new podcast title and, logo and stuff, because, I went back and I looked at the podcast I used to do, and it looks like some people took the name since then. So I'd probably start with like a new podcast, title, maybe like a new theme. I don't know exactly what I would talk about, but trust me, I have been thinking about it. And I'll get back to you because I have been thinking that it would be really fun to pick up a podcast again. So it definitely is something I've been thinking about, hopefully in the future. So thanks for the question. Alrighty, moving on. The next 3 questions actually come from the same person. They come from The Legend of Jonathan, and so I'll go in order. But The Legend of Jonathan, his first question is, question number 8, what is your favorite anime? See, when people ask what's my favorite of anything, I always feel like that puts me in a tight spot because I feel like I don't really ever have like a favorite of something. I feel it's always more likely like a group of favorites or like a collection of favorites, if that makes sense. But when it comes to favorite anime, maybe not my favorite, but like a group of them, I absolutely love Gurren Lagann. Gurren Lagann is this like mecha / shonen show. I love it. I think it's super cool. The aesthetic is cool. The music is cool. The fact that it's all about basically willpower and fighting the universe itself using just determination. I think that's awesome. Another favorite is Steins Gate. I think Steins Gate is an awesome science fiction anime. I think it's awesome because it's very adult. It actually, the main characters are adults. They're not kids. And I think it's really cool how it uses time travel and like time loops. And it's very tragic, etc. I love that anime. One more recent one that I really like. I really love Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. This is one that when you see the cover and you hear the title, you think it's probably going to be some like super ecchi series, or it's going to be like very like pervy or whatever, and then it actually surprises you because it's actually this really grounded, mostly like romance thing. And it's all about this main character that he falls in love with this girl, but the thing is that he's the only one that can see her. And so that's, like the first, bit of the story. It's all about, why can't people see her? It has also like a paranormal science fiction thing. And then as the series progresses, it's about how he helps these different people in his life that they're all suffering from a similar, curse / like paranormal thing because of how they're going through like puberty. They're growing up and everyone has a different issue going on. And it's about how he helps them and how they're, become closer to him. So it's like really, really like deep. It's really nice. I really love, there's this anime that I think it's a bit, underground, but I love this anime called Princess Tutu. Princess Tutu is really awesome. It's a magic girl anime. It's fairy tale based, etc. And it's about what happens when a guy that writes a story decides that he wants his characters to suffer because, he goes crazy and he kind of goes, hey, the more they suffer, the more interesting the story is. And so it's all about this magical girl that she's a duck. She can transform into a little girl using magic. And it's all about her trying to save the prince that she loves because he has his soul missing, his heart. And so this is really interesting. The way it, like I said, blends fairy tale with magical girl. And the way it kind of then goes like really dark. But it kind of like flips things on its head. Trust me, awesome anime called Princess Tutu. And finally, I guess if I have to do like a really, really crazy one out there, I really love Fooly Cooly. The original one, I think Fooly Cooly is awesome. It's only 6 episodes, but it's just this like balls to the wall anime about this kid growing up, living in his brother's shadow, who, you know, went to play baseball in America. And basically it's about how this alien girl shows up with pink hair and she kind of throws his life, you know, upside down. And it's about the trials and tribulations of growing up. That's all I'll say. You gotta watch it for yourself. Fooly Cooly is awesome though. So there you go. That's a list of some of my favorite anime. Go check them out. Alright, moving up to number 9. Legend Jonathan asks, how did you get into gaming? So I feel like I've been asked this before, but it was probably on the old channel. I don't think I've talked about it on this one. How I got into gaming, very simple. Basically, growing up, I didn't really have my own systems. I wasn't really that much into video games up until I was like maybe like 8. That's when I got my first system, which was actually well, first I think I got a Game Boy Advance. That was then shortly followed by a GameCube. But growing up, I used to always go to my grandma's house, and my, you know, uncle, he was like in his early 20s. He hadn't really moved out. He hadn't moved out with his wife or kid yet, so he used to like have all his consoles there at my grandma's house. And whenever I would go over, I would play all of his systems. So growing up, I remember playing the PlayStation 2, the Super Nintendo, the Dreamcast, you know, etc. There was always a variety of games to play. And that's where I got into gaming, because watching him, I just thought was like, wow, look at all this crazy cool stuff he's playing. And that's how I jumped onto the gaming bandwagon and never looked back. So there you go. Finally, the last question from Legend Jonathan is, what's the worst game you've ever played? This one's a bit of a doozy, because I feel like if a game's really bad, sometimes you don't even remember it. You know what I mean? Like if it's like shovelware, if it's just like really like some crappy thing that doesn't even work, I feel like usually like you play it and you kind of forget about it. So thinking of a game that means something that I played that was bad, oh man, I can't even like really think of one, honestly. I gotta say, maybe the last game that I played that was really, really bad that comes to mind, I know that funny enough, it's kind of popular on my channel. It's this game called, I think it's like Hentai vs. Evil or something like that. Yeah, I think it's Hentai vs. Evil, and it markets itself as this like really like sexy game. You know, it's a first-person shooter where you're playing as these anime girls and they're fighting like demons and all sorts of stuff. And the trailer and stuff tries to make it look really cool, makes it look really hardcore. And when you're playing it, it's just super buggy and super like repetitive and boring. It's not exciting at all. And like the character models are like really like plastic looking and like it's just really bad. So I don't know. That might be the worst game in memory that I've played. You know, because I'm sure there's the worse ones out there. Other games that come to mind that were really bad. I know it was a few years where I tried to play some of those WWE games, some of those wrestling games. Oh man, some of those were just really bad. The mechanics were really boring. The physics were bad. They're buggy. The appearance of them was just like atrocious. You know, some of those were really bad. But yeah, just off the top of my head, you know, Hentai vs. Evil might be the one that just comes to mind. That it was just so bad, but it marketed itself like as if it was really interesting. So, you know, there you go. Alrighty guys, that brings us to the end of the Q&A. That was 10 questions from a variety of subscribers. For anyone who asked a question, thank you, really appreciate it. Hopefully anyone watching this helps you guys know a little bit more about me, know a little bit more about my background, you know, kind of how this channel got started, some of my preferences, what I like and, you know, don't like, etc. And yeah, guys, it's just so exciting having this channel hit its 2-year anniversary, and it's super exciting having hit the 200 subscriber milestone. So I don't know, I'm just looking forward to the next one. If we hit, I don't know, maybe like I'll do one for 500, you know, if we like double base tier subscribers, I think that'd be really fun. Or I don't know, maybe I'll do one for 300. I mean, 300 could be fun, you know, I don't know. But the point is, as we hit more milestones, I do hope to do more of these types of videos. This one was a Q&A. If you guys want our Q&A next time, let me know. Or if you have an idea for something else I can do as a subscriber special, let me know as well. You know, suggest it. Maybe I might do it. But until next time, guys, this has been Weeb Rabbit. Thank you for anyone who subscribed. Thank you for anyone who, you know, shows support on my channel. I really appreciate it. I am excited to see what the next milestone will be in the future. Until then, have a good one. Bye-bye.